No, that's my Kevin.
Your Urkel?
No, Kevin Hart. No, didn't I sound like it?
I,
There's certain things he does in his act.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But one thing that I do know
What do you know?
is we're live. Hey, y'all. We're going to talk about some myths, misconceptions, and why folks tend to fail at FIRE. I remember, before we moved here, and I was talking to some young people, and I told them that I was retired, because in America, what's the first question people ask you?
What do you do?
What do you do for a living? And so when I told them I was retired, they were like, "Oh my God, you look young." Thank you. And I said, "Yeah, I actually did retire early." And I said, "Do you know about the FIRE movement?" "Oh, you mean when you live this extremely austere life?
You can't buy nothing. You can't have nothing.
But right until you fire, you gotta live this extreme minimalist life, like I don't know, a studio apartment with a bed, a chair, a table,
a fork, a spoon, a knife,
2 shirts, and 1 pair of pants."
1 pair of socks, and underwear that you can wash every night.
Well, no, 2 pairs, so you can switch them out. You wash one, let it dry while you wear the other one. This is
true,
right? So there.
Or but you can never mind.
I don't know, but it's interesting because when I was talking about should we start creating merch, what did you say?
I said, I don't know because we've been telling people not to buy anything.
Is that what we say? Is that what we say?
Is that what you hear?
Do we really say don't buy anything? Or do you believe that we say don't buy anything?
I kind of heard that, but
you kind of did.
Your explanation to me helped me to understand different things. It's not about that. And then researching different things into FIRE movement and,
researching.
You can't.
He knows this stuff.
You can't get too extreme because then it's not fun. It's more of a chore, a hassle. Not a chore, it's a hassle.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like if life is a drudgery, I don't see how you keep up those habits. Like we were talking about last week, or maybe we were talking, actually, I think this was in the Beyond the Bling FIRE group, the Beyond the Bling group, right? And so for those of you who don't know, we do have a course for Money Mindset Makeover Financial Independence, Beyond the Bling. And we just had our group coaching session Saturday. Wait, that was yesterday. And we were talking about the 1% rule, right? Getting better at things, 1% at a time. But, when you're talking about extremes like that, I don't know that those gradual increments will make a difference for folks,
Yeah, true.
So I don't know, but we're going to talk about it today and we're going to get it straight. First, let's introduce ourselves.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey, y'all. In case you don't know and you're new, welcome. My name is Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to Our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, which we're going to talk about today, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. For those of you who don't know, Rick and I reside in beautiful
Lisbon,
Portugal.
Lisboa, Portugal.
So we're in Portugal right now. A couple of weeks we'll be in Spain, and we are living our best lives because we figured out how to get our financial act together. You see, about 7 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call as we got close to retirement age. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
It was cray.
Yes. Actually, yeah. Crazier than crazy. It was cray. what he said. But about 3.5 years ago, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1 million in net worth. And that is what FIRE can do for you. And as a good friend of the channel, Adelia Borshade, says, if you are over the age of 62, then maybe FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Relax and Ease.
I like that.
I like that too. Or relax enough. Either way it goes.
Or get
Retire.
relaxed her day.
Day.
Her day.
You guys know what day is, right? So let's get to it. We are going to talk about it. We just talked about the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to say hello to who's in the audience, but we want to get right down to it. So the first one is something that we've just been talking about. And that notion that you said, but we tell people not to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And
we don't want you to take in mind that you can't buy anything ever again until you hit your FI number. That's not what we're saying.
And it's not sustainable.
It isn't. It really isn't. You'll stop.
Right. And only buying things that you need is not sustainable either. Right?
No, it's not.
No. What have you bought since we've lived in Portugal?
I bought a pair of shoes.
Boots.
Chugga boots.
I don't know what chugga boots are.
They're like ankle boots.
Oh, okay.
Like desert boots.
Okay.
Because I needed something with more cushion on the cobblestone.
He needed them. He needed them.
My feet were yelling at me. So I felt that I needed them, and they were a good price too.
Okay.
They weren't expensive, like in the States, what I would pay for that type of boot.
We had budgeted for them, so it didn't matter.
And that's the key word. We budgeted for them.
Right. So do you think that we live a minimalist life now?
I kind of think we do, but we're not to the extreme of minimalism.
We have more than one plate. So when you come to Portugal, if we invite you over, we will have a plate for you. And a cup and a knife and a fork. No, I mean,
it's up to you to clean it, though.
I suppose there are people out there who believe that minimalism, sorry, it's shaking, y'all, that minimalism and the FIRE movement, and I suppose if you make minimum wage, let's just get it straight and get it out of the way. If you make minimum wage or something close to that for the state, city that you live in, then obviously austereness may be the only way at this point for you to move your plan along on your journey to FIRE.
You have to really be disciplined to do that.
Yeah, you do. But if you only make a certain amount, that's just how it is. But for the majority of the people who watch Our Black Utopia, for the majority of the people who watch this channel, mm-hmm. right, that is not the case. The majority of the people are not making minimum wage. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say the majority of y'all make above average, right, above the average wage for Americans. And so for us, people in the middle who get taxed high and don't qualify for any benefits, the middle class. And the notion that we would live a life where the only things that we bought are things that were necessary for our survival, right. That doesn't sound like joy to me. Mm-hmm. Right? It does not sound like joy to me. So the real tenet of the FIRE movement is to be thoughtful about your spending. So what does that mean? Like we said about the boots. They were budgeted for. They were budgeted, yeah. What I don't purchase anymore, the things that I don't buy anymore are things that don't do anything. So when we would travel, before we moved, before we even knew that this was a possibility, when every single trip outside of the United States was a trip of a lifetime, right? All of our family members would ask us, bring me something back, because of course they'll never get to go. That's our mentality. Come on, y'all. That's our mentality. Yeah. Bring me something back. Bring me a snow globe or a magnet or this or that or whatever. Something that's going to collect dust that you're going to throw away eventually once you move, because it has no value. Right. It has no value. And so just stuff that we used to buy. I remember when we came back from the Caribbean the first time and we had, all of these things. Some of them decorated our house, but then we had all this just stuff. Trinkets. Stuff and just stuff. And some of that got given away before we moved, but a lot of it was still in the same box. Yeah. So for us, what does minimalism look like? It means that when we travel, we either get a patch for my jacket or we get a Christmas ornament,
Christmas ornament. Yeah.
right, that we put on our Christmas tree to remind us where we've been. And then at least it gets used and they're pretty. So just spending money mindlessly, that's what we don't do anymore.
Yeah, we just don't buy anything and everything, just because
We can.
we can, or we think we want
Or we
something.
think we can, and really we're using a credit card and getting further in debt. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Don't need to do that.
No. No. So I think the key is that FIRE does not require you to sacrifice your quality of life today for quality of life tomorrow. The quality of life may look different today and tomorrow. Private jets notwithstanding. But
hey, I got to put it out there.
The quality of life might be different, but it does not make logical sense to not have good quality of life today, not to buy good food today, not to maintain your health today, right? Like to have a gym membership, right? If you don't maintain, if you don't have good health, if you're not eating well, if you don't feel good, right?
Yeah, you got to feel good.
Then what is tomorrow for? Will you even last till tomorrow? All right. Yeah. Let's see what y'all are talking about in the chat. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the first person who was in the chat. Hey, Action VJ.
Action VJ.
So y'all ready? Hit that like button as you come in. You know we love you. You know we love you. Hey, Regina, good to see you in the chat. And Greta is early today. Happy
Greta?
Sunday to
Happy
you
Sunday.
too. Yes, hit the like button. Hey, Christy G, happy Sunday. Alexandria MD, Mel and T are back for now. Y'all always going somewhere.
Aren't y'all? Didn't they leave again?
No, wait. What day is it? Maybe
on the road.
Maybe
they're supposed to leave on the 9th, I believe.
Yeah, I thought that was 9 too, actually. Yeah, always gone. We haven't even seen you. How you come back to town and then leave without seeing us? How's that work? Y'all were back for like a week. So
they were back for like a day. We love you.
Hey, Vicky, of course we do. That's why we're talking smack. Hey, Peggy, good to see you again, 2 times in one weekend. Hey, Professor. We love you. Yes. Auntie Trey, LL Cooper. Hi, everyone. Samantha Man. Greetings from Texas. How hot is it there?
Is it cooled down any in Texas?
It's cooled down here, thank God.
It's cooled down a lot. You can tell the season's going to change here.
Yeah, it's getting darker earlier. I can already tell. I haven't had enough summer yet, y'all. And it's only 70 degrees. So it's really nice, but it's still warm in here. So that's why we've got the door open. I got the fan on. Let us know if the sound is okay, because we do have the fan on and we have the window open, which we usually don't have. So.
Yeah, we had a crying baby a little earlier, but
so
came to quiet it down. So
right. Hey, my peace. Hola, my beautiful fam. Hiking and listening to 2 of my favorite people. You too, baby. Happy hiking. Happy hiking. Hey, Latina Yogi.
Hey, Latina.
Valerina, Carmen, Chandra, hey, haven't seen you in the chat in a while.
Seven bother.
Of course, Penny and June. It was great seeing you yesterday.
So
it was. So now you got your Slap Your Mama and your Splenda. You good to go. You good to go, girls. All right. Hey, Monica. Adelina. Is this a new name? Oh, I want to hear this chat. Yeah, good. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Adelina just looks new, especially spelled that way. So, hey, Jessica Amor. Good to see you in the chat. Val, Killer Queen, Kim J, Aurora. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Yeah, I guess it is afternoon some places. My stethoscope travels. It's nighttime here, y'all know. Hey, Agent Grateful.
Congratulations.
We are okay. Can I tell your story? I don't know. You didn't give me permission. Let me know if I can tell what you put in the community. Give me permission. I ain't gonna say nothing. All right. Vicky, we've got Auntie Trey, servant teacher Nikki. Good to see you, Lenora. Steven.
That looks like a new name.
That looks like a new name on Facebook. So Facebook's working. Yay. Hello, all of you on Facebook, LinkedIn. Hey, let us know in the chat if you are logging in from one of those platforms. So good to see you, Tracy and Nika. They're in the house. Danette's in the house. Alicia, I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you back. Boa tarde. Artwork Insight, Shaquan, Wendy, Kay, Imani is back. Good to see you in the chat. Nubia Net. I spent a bit too much in June between Portugal and France. I can't buy anything extra for a few months, right? And so this is the thing, right? Like you don't have a splurge couple of months and then just continue splurging. That's not the way FIRE works, right? Like if you've got a plan, then you've planned for Portugal and France, right? And then you know that maybe the next month or 2 or 3 will be a bit leaner as you start saving again for the next splurge. So that is what FIRE is all about, as opposed to just pulling out the credit cards, right? As opposed to just pulling out the credit cards. You need to live below your means, but everyone's means are different. Exactly. So as we said, if you are making minimum wage for the area that you live in or close to it, then it may be a bit austere, right? It may be a bit austere, but making, I don't know, $80,000 a year, $70,000 a year in Denver, you don't have to be that austere. 70 in LA? Maybe. Or unless you want to share an apartment, like, right? Because LA is out of control. See, and that's the thing. Above average in America, but headed towards poor in Bay Area.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so y'all know about, part of the reason why we were able to retire is because we did a geographic arbitrage, right? We moved to a place where our money would go further. And for some, moving abroad is the key to FIRE, right? Like if you've got if your income doesn't change, but you can drop your expenses tremendously.
Yes.
But you don't spend the gap. You don't spend that delta in between that income, right? And your lowered expenses, but you then save and invest that, which Rick and I do. Now you're cooking with Crisco, right?
Yankee Candle.
Okay. So what is the thing with Yankee candles? Is it the smell of the candles? Would you have more fun making your own candles and buying the little essence foils to put, right?
Yeah, that way you can make them just how you want them.
Make them exactly how you want them, the color you want them, with the smell that you want. Why does red always have to be cinnamon or Christmas or cranberries, right? Why can't red be lavender? You want the smell of lavender, but red matches, right? You can do a lot of stuff. I like the magnet for my fridge. I suppose if you consider that decoration, then a magnet has a use. And a magnet always has a use because then you put some notes to the family underneath it and all of that stuff.
Pictures.
Right? So I collect coins from each country so I can make a charm bracelet from all the places I've visited.
That's a thought.
Now that's cool. I've got coins from other places.
Oh, yeah. Got a lot of them.
We could make even charms. That's cool. That's a cool idea, right?
Yeah. And when I made my little neck charm.
Yeah. So this is dirt from South Africa
This was dirt when we first went to South Africa.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring something back. So I made necklaces.
Yeah.
I bought the little bottles and I put the dirt in them. And dirt from Africa, from the motherland.
Yep. So I've got one. You make one for a few family members. Yeah. So everything is going up except for salaries, right, Danette? Right. And so sometimes, obviously for the FIRE journey, some sacrifices have to be made. We talked about some of the sacrifices we made about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were in LA about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Obviously sacrifices have to be made, but the question is, Are they sacrifices or are they opportunity costs, right? They're only sacrifices if you feel like they're sacrifices. Otherwise, they're just opportunity costs, right? You're just trading something for something that you prefer to have. Okay. I cannot claim. Who did I get this from?
You got it from April.
Right. So I don't know if it was April or Rondell from the
I think April
Yarbrough.
was collecting them.
But well, they're both buying them.
The Yarbrough.
I don't know whose idea
Yeah.
it was, if it was April or Rondell's idea, but they talked about it on a few of their videos. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. So I started doing it when we started traveling again after the pandemic. But they haven't sewn any of theirs on. So I was talking mucho smack the last time I talked to him, mucho smack. So, hey, Simone. Also, if you're on prescription medicine, that cost can get you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you've got to plan accordingly, right? And so the one thing is if you're paying $200 a month for some medication, which is absolutely ridiculous, then obviously you're not going to then take $200 and put it on a credit card so that you can have them shoes. That is not how FIRE works, right? Like that's not a winning strategy that's going to get you where you want to go. So Valerina started collecting pins instead of postcards for her travels. I can put them on different jackets. Yep, same kind of thing. Danette likes the fridge magnets. I think when we were younger, okay, I'm reading all of these, but y'all know, put a Q in front of you. You want me to put it on screen. If you absolutely want me to put it on screen or you have a question. For those who are new, I think when younger, you're more inclined to lean toward extremes. Seasoned adults are more inclined to find balance between excessive consumerism and sacrificing quality of life.
Yep.
Though your buddy here said, I thought we told them not to buy stuff. He did say that. Stuff. Hey there. Hello, Rick and Halisi. Looking forward to hearing about this misconception of FIRE. Yeah. So, okay, let me put the banner up for the newbies who are in the audience. Put a Q in front of your questions. All right, let's continue on. Let's see where we're at. Hey, Pinky, happy Sunday to you too. I'm going to try and catch up. Hello, tuning in from Kentucky. Hey, Natasha.
Aging Graceful said yes.
We can share it. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad you caught it. So I will. So Aging Grateful, they are in the Beyond the Bling community. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They went from a net worth, I'm not going to give the exact numbers because I don't remember, but they went from a net worth of about $20,000 when they started the course in like January or February, because that's when it rolled out, to today over nearly $200,000 in net worth. Just what was that, like 6 months, 7 months, employing the principles that we teach in Beyond the Bling. They went from $20,000 in net worth to almost $200,000 in net worth in a half a year.
It works, y'all. It truly works.
When you have a plan, let me tell you, when you have a plan and you work that plan, like I was trying to tell our youngest son, he was like, it's nice to be getting a regular paycheck again. I said, yeah. I said, if you want to go back to freelancing, you need to save a good, robust emergency fund. If you want to go back to making $50 an hour, instead of having to, clock your time with a time clock, right, at a much less per hour pay, you got to have a healthy.
Yeah, you got to have that emergency.
And I told him 1 year minimum, 1 year. So if you employ the principles, you work the plan, you can have the same kind of results, right? You can have the same kind of results. Hey, Marcia, good to see you. Pity in June. Okay. So Dr. Ramona LaRose, same in South Florida, on top of all of the other American crazy going on here. Yeah. Between the Alabama brawl and everything else, I don't know. And then got, please, please, please keep Hawaii in your prayers. We just heard about that. Well, I just heard about that. Aldi candles. We have Aldi here. Smell just as good as Yankee to me and cost a lot less.
Yeah.
Not surprising because it's a German company. So yeah. Hey everyone, hit that like button. Thank you, Alicia. Okay. Regina comment. I was speaking to my sister today and informed her I will not be buying Christmas presents this year. I ordered specifically candles on Christmas and she hasn't burnt it yet. I ordered probably specialty candles one Christmas. But you know how we do, Regina. We save it for good. We're saving it for something special.
Yeah. And it sits there.
And it sits there and gets dusty. And then 20 years later, exactly.
You end up tossing it when you
instead of just using the thing and enjoying it like you wanted her to. So I don't know your sisters, but I know how I did. And I was always saving stuff for something, for a special time, or this is that and the other, which never ever came.
Or
right?
you find something else to use for that special time instead of that.
Or you've forgotten that you were saving it for a special time because it
just
just becomes a part of the wallpaper of your house. It's been sitting there for so long. So yeah, I can work overtime and save 2 years to live in Portugal. I can work overtime and save 2 years to live in Portugal and retire sooner. I plan to work half-time teaching English. I think I'll be better off financially. Nubia Net, get out of the Bay Area, girl. You know. I mean, I don't like the Bay Area anyway, so you know that. I never have because I always found the the freeways confusing. So, okay. Y'all. If you have a plan and you work the plan, you can become financially free. And you can do it a lot faster than you think. It's interesting. When we were talking, we were watching Christina Naman's latest video, or maybe the video before last, and they were talking about the fact that they're selling their house. No, they did some clickbait and some, do you think we're leaving Portugal? We knew good and well they weren't leaving Portugal. But one of the things that occurred to me as I was listening to their story is when you look at these two young people who in 8 years were able to amass $2.5 million to retire at age 39. These are the people who introduced us to the FIRE movement. One of the things that became crystal clear is, and they were so smart about this, is, and Nubia Net, you being in the Bay Area reminded me of this, is by buying undervalued houses when they did and slowly fixing them up themselves and then selling them at a profit. And instead of taking 100%, because what typical Americans do is nearly 100% of the money made from a smaller house, right? We take 100% of that money made and put it all into the next house. So we can keep our payments, that bigger house with the bigger mortgage per se, but we keep our payments the same by putting all that money and taking down that principal balance, right?
Yes, we give the mortgage company all that money.
That's what we do. As opposed to taking 3% to buy the next house with an FHA loan, and then taking the other chunk and putting it into the stock market. Yeah. If you think about it, it's kind of like, duh. Why would you, when you're, especially back in the day when we were getting 2 and 3 and 4% loans, right? Why would you give the company, the mortgage company, all of that money that in 10 years could be making, 14% annually over 10 years. And then you can just take that if you plan to stay in the United States and then pay off your house 15 years later. And you still got money left over, which you would not have had you tried to pay off your mortgage early by giving it to the mortgage company who does not need your money, and
they really don't.
They don't, right? But it is so brilliant. And so this is what we're talking about being creative, having that plan, and then working the plan, right? Let's think creatively how to do things. It's not just about debt elimination. It's about using your money to make more money. And then spending less than that so that you can use that extra money to make even more money. That's what it's about. All right. So the first misconception that we started the show with was
extreme sacrificing.
right, that you have to give up your quality of life, that you have to only have 2 shirts, 2 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of socks, right? And that's how you have to live. And that's simply not true. Minimalism for us means not buying anything that we're not going to use.
Yeah.
So even if it's just something that we want, will we use it?
I mean, and you figure that out. What minimalism? I cannot say that word. Minimalism.
Because he's got them lips, y'all.
Minimalism.
Them kissable lips.
I mean, you figure that out. What's important? What's
and what it's going to look like for you.
Yeah, you
right?
have to. You really, really have to look at it.
Yeah, definitely. So number 2. Another common misconception of FIRE or being able to achieve financial independence is that you have to be rich, wealthy, get
a big windfall,
like win the lotto.
Win the lotto. And
Penny, where were you last night? Oh yeah, I noticed you weren't there, baby girl. I noticed you weren't there. What'd she say? If I win the lotto, I'm gonna break you off a piece. We don't need to win the lotto. What we need to do is learn how to manage our money properly, right? There does come a point for some folks where they will have to increase income.
Oh yeah.
But not by gambling, babies. Not by gambling. So the other misconception tied to all of that is that either you have to be wealthy or have some kind of inheritance windfall that's going to come, or that you have to be a really, really high income earner. That was my misconception.
Nobody let me nut.
Nobody let me nothing, and I ain't never made a lot of money. But I remember I've told y'all this when this was 2003, 2004. My boss at the time was bringing in about $250,000 a year. I saw her paycheck stub. So, and then she told me that her and her husband were saving 50% of their income. And I was like,
and he made more than she did.
Yeah, he did. He did. They were Harvard grads. But I was like, must be nice. Right? It must be nice. Yeah, I suppose if I made $250,000 a year, I'd be able to save 50% too. But we figured out not making anywhere close to that, because that was $250,000 back in 2004, 2005, right? What is that today? Like 350, 300? I don't know. So nowhere near close to that. And we were saving 65% of our income.
Right.
It is doable.
Oh yeah.
It is doable. It was doable once we decided not to spend $1,000 a month eating out.
Yeah, true.
Right. Well, the pandemic helped that too. And it's like, oh, wait, where did all this money come from? Where did all this money come from? Oh, I'm not buying lunches at work anymore. I'm not spending on gas anymore. Right. And so, no, FIRE is not just for high income earners. And please, babies, please do not base your financial future off the numbers. Plan all your grandbabies' birthdays every week, every day, however it works. I guess it's once a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not the recipe for financial independence. Let's see what you guys are saying. Letting adult child move home and raising grandson when I need my freedom. Big mistake I'm needing to fix. Wendy, we Black women do those things. I'm assuming you're Black because most of our audience is. We do those things. You can fix it. You can fix it. You can fix it. Take off the cape, right? The one thing that, it is important for us to understand. I don't know where I heard this, but I did, and it made sense, and I repeat it. And I told our youngest, because he's in our pockets more than any of the others, that every single dollar we give you today is a dollar you will have to spend on us later. So You're going to pay. You can pay today or you can pay tomorrow. But we cannot prepare properly for our retirement if we are helping your grown behind, able-bodied, able-mind, grown behind.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that.
And you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to. No, you're not.
You know all that entitlement stuff that
No,
we do
you're
to our
not.
kids.
No.
I did it. I take the blame. But I am correcting it. I am correcting it.
Hey.
And I am not allowing any of our family members to put a burden on us for the choices that they made.
And that's it. Why should you have to pay for somebody else's decisions in life?
Do I want our family members to suffer? Of course
No.
not. Do we love our family? Of course we do. But I love me more. I love me more.
I mean, and when, if I'm going to eat, you're going to eat.
Right. And when the fit hits the sham, right, when it really gets serious and you really need us, we want to be able to help. So don't call us for nonsense.
Yeah.
Right. Hey,
which most of the time family members call you for.
Nonsense. No more car payment. Yes, glass half full. Just sold my car, now buying a less expensive car outright. Yes. When I took your course, I put that on my F.I.R.E plan, and now I can check that off my list. Yes. If you want to take Beyond the Bling, these are the last weeks that it is going to be available at dish price. It will be an ongoing payment because we have ongoing information and we do ongoing group coaching. So, folks in the audience are trying to let you know. We got two things coming up. We've got the Move to Portugal Summit that we are doing with Blacks at Global, with Krishan at Blacks at Global. Y'all know about that. That's the first weekend in November. Between the sponsors and the speakers that we have, I am so excited about this summit. It's going to be off the chain, right? It really is.
For real.
But you got to get your money together if you want to make that move, right? And so Beyond the Bling, then the summit. Beyond the Bling, then the summit, right? Do things correct and in order. We are so happy for you, glass half full. See, here's the thing. We are just trying to be the folks we needed to see 3 years ago. We love Christina and Aman, but let's get real. They're as young as our kids. They're young enough to be our kids. We have kids older than them. Hey, Christina and Aman, if you're watching. There are certain things that you think about when you're over 55 that you may not think about at 39 or 45, right? There are certain things that you can depend on when you're over 50 that you cannot necessarily depend on if you're 40, right? If you're 55, you're going to probably collect Social Security in 7 years. If you're 40, I don't know what's happening in 22 years. I don't know. Right. And so what F.I.R.E looks like when you're a little bit older may, especially if you're getting started late, right, may look different than what it looked like for a 20-year-old, 30-year-old, or someone starting at like 35 or even 40. So Greta says, I'm financially preparing for my knee replacement surgery next year. I will be on short-term disability for about 2 months. Definitely have to work my plan.
Yeah.
I so wish you could get this done outside of the United States for free. I so wish. You know, I mean, we have good, great doctors in the United States. It's not about that. It's just that doggone cost.
The cost of it.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Nicole, welcome. Yay. We're glad that you enjoy it. Stick around. Let us know how we can help. Hey, Winnie, how much do you consider is lower income that would require a minimalist lifestyle to achieve F.I.R.E? It depends on where you live, Winnie, right? So as we said, $70,000 in Denver would not require a single person necessarily to live extremely austere.
Right.
They could easily afford a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate and save tons of money, per month. In LA, oh no.
It'd be pushing it.
It would in the Bay Area, forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Forget about it, right? Like, so you know what lower income is for where you live. Even within Colorado, what is true in Denver, like $70,000 in Denver would be a crap ton of money in like maybe Durango, right?
Oh yeah.
Or not for Collins anymore, but or Colorado Springs anymore. But right, you get my point. So so it's hard to say what that income is because it depends on where you live. But let's just say if you have to spend any more than 50% of your money for housing, you need to house hack. If you should not be spending any more than about 20% of your income on housing. So that's a sacrifice. That may mean a roommate.
Yeah.
And I would get a roommate and I would sacrifice not having the kitchen perfect, how I want it, to be able to save money and not live with absolutely no luxuries in my life. And, and then what is a luxury? Being able to go to the movies and buy popcorn at the movie theater could be a luxury to you.
Yeah.
Right. So, and for me, like even back in the day, we still went to the discount. We still went to the matinees, and we still the movie theater that got shut up. That's the movie theater we used to go to because they had real butter and they had the cheapest prices. So yeah, I think it just depends, babe. Global Explorer. That looks like a new name. And welcome, Danielle. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. How do you get residency in another country? So A. Thomas put it. I saw the question, so I'm gonna answer it. It really helps. If I miss it, put a Q in front of it. If I'm scrolling through, so I'm gonna try to catch everything. I know we've got a lot of new folks. So, how do you get residency in another country when you can't count salary as income? Mexico's permit. You can count salary as income for Mexico's permit, especially for the temporary permit, assuming you can't meet the asset requirement and are not able to tap into Social Security yet. Yeah, so you can count income as or salary as income for Mexico. You should be able to for permanent residency. What is on paper and what they do are two different things. But technically, anybody making like $100,000 a year remotely, let's just say, should get permanent residency in Mexico.
Right.
But they're only giving permanent residency to retirees. Is what we are hearing now. That is not necessarily true for every single consulate in the United States or around the world.
Different consulates do different things.
This is what we are hearing. And that is not necessarily true today because we haven't heard anything in the past 2 months or so. But yeah, you can count salary because Mexico, unlike some of the other countries where there's a requirement for you to stay in country a certain amount of time, Mexico is not 100% counting on you adding to their economy. Otherwise, they would require you to stay in country, right? So they just want to make sure you're not going to be leeching off of their economy. I tell my family I'm like the little red hen. I'll teach you how to plant the wheat and knead the dough, but don't think you're going to sit back and eat my bread. I heard that.
Good.
Right? Exactly. I am loving or probably living on one paycheck and investing and saving and funding my retirement with the other. You go, Danielle. You go. Yeah. You go. I went to church with a Danielle Brooks, by the way, in Denver. That's what I'm talking about. See, if your living expenses or your housing, just your housing is taking 50% of your income, there's no way you can do that. Right? Money Coach Malika. I like that name. All right, let's see. I'm going to try. Okay, I'm at the end. Okay, so we've got number 1.
Extreme sacrificing.
Right, like very extreme, austere living, a misconception. You don't have to live that way necessarily to achieve financial independence. Number 2.
You need to be a large earner or you need a large windfall.
Right, you got to win the lotto.
Win the lotto.
You got to have an inheritance. You gotta make, $250,000 a year, or you gotta at least make six figures or something like that, right? And none of that is necessarily true. Number three, people mistake investing with gambling and conflate the two, especially folks in our community, the Black community.
Because you hear the word risk, and automatically your mind goes there.
Odds.
But it's odds, risk. I mean, there's some things that you could do in investing that can seem like gambling.
That is gambling.
If you're playing,
the day trading game the wrong way,
and you don't know how to do it. But the thing is, lack of knowledge in investing.
Yeah. So in our group Beyond the Bling, we are now reading Take Stock, and the author was talking about folks who are the look for the fool and then the bigger fool, So you're the fool who bought the thing from the other fool, and now you're trying to find another fool to buy it for more than you paid for it. No, that's not that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about investing. So if you are afraid of investing, if you equate investing with gambling, or you really don't know what the difference is, it all seems like a gamble to you. If you are that person, and unfortunately, our community are the biggest perpetrators of this action. Selling low and buying high. The market starts going down, you panic and sell everything. And now, it's going back up. Let's buy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, y'all, think about that. What do other people know, or what do you think you know that no one else knows? When everybody else is holding, just hold on, hold on. But you've got the answer, or you just panic, right? If you are risk averse, you are probably risk averse because of lack of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Knowledge helps quell.
Yeah, it makes you take a step back and just let it happen, let things happen. And a lot of times, we will invest in there, not us, but,
Black folks
with Black people in general will invest in something, and instead of letting it go for the long game, we look at it.
We try to time the market.
We put our money in there. It's like, what's my money doing? And we'll look at it every day. We might not understand what we're looking at.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, they ain't making money fast enough. And we pull it out.
Or it's still going down.
It's going down. Oh, I can't. I can't take it. I'm gonna lose my money, and it's like you're not losing anything until you sell it.
Right. So it's paper losses. It's not real losses. But what's so funny is when those Jimmy Choos go on sale. Do you say those are less valuable? If they put the Tesla on sale, because Apple's never on sale. If they put the Tesla on sale, is the Tesla now less valuable? If they bring out, like if they put the Tesla on sale, are you going to sell your Tesla? You owe 45 and you're going to sell it at 35 and then owe the company 10,000. No, we would never do that. But for some reason, when it comes to the stock market, we have listened to the experts, the ones who make a living buying and selling stock, that we, feeble-minded us, are just not capable of understanding this highly complex industry. Because if we did, they'd be out of business and they would not have a job.
Yeah.
If someone is helping you plan financially, you are paying them for the privilege. They better be doing a good job.
That's their job. They have a job.
But I have seen what the financial planners have done for folks in my family. And I'm looking at their lives and saying, I'm not impressed. I am not impressed. They have not done anything, not one single thing that I could not have done just as well or not better. Like, why did my grandmother die? with only $5,000 when she had hundreds of thousands. Like, where did that money go? What did he have invested in? Bonds? Probably. Because old, bonds, young, stock. That's how it goes. Which kind of leads us into one of the next ones. But no, I think we actually, no, we saved that for last. Okay, so we saved that one for last. So I'm not going to lead into that. But anyway, so biggest misconception is that investing is gambling. I don't know how you can reach financial independence without investing.
Unless you do get a windfall.
Unless you get a windfall.
Unless you got a family member who's leaving you with a lot of money.
Unless you gamble. Gamble on somebody dying who's rich and leaving it to you. Gamble on the lotto. Go to the casinos, play the numbers, whatever. I don't know how you reach financial independence without investing. Perhaps if you are that person who's making $250,000 a year and you're saving 50% of your income for 10 years and just putting it in a savings account, and then you live just on $30,000, $40,000 a year, maybe.
It's funny, I was talking about this, and I remember seeing something on Jay-Z, and they were asking him, how does he feel when he's, at a family event, and, one of his relatives, of course, the man's a billionaire. They run up to him, oh man, just give me $4,000. I got this idea, $4,000. And he says, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. No one's going to turn around and just hand you a check for $4,000 for your business. That's not how business works. And sometimes we, not realizing, that, we fall into that category of saying, okay, if I could just do this, or I could just do that, if I could hit that lotto, if I could do this, I could, play this horse, play that, and trying to get rich quick, and nobody's giving us anything. It doesn't work like that.
Nope. And so that leads into the next one, that it's a guaranteed get rich quick scheme.
Yeah. That's why so many people fell into the pyramid schemes and everything else.
Right. And that's why so many people fail at FIRE, because it doesn't happen fast enough. If you're making $250,000 a year and you can save 50% of your income, there is a chart that tells you how many years you have to financial independence. If you can save 100% of that, you have 0 years. Because obviously you don't need the income, right? Right. So, but yeah, it's not a get rich quick scheme for the average person. We are at Coast Fi. Y'all know that. And still, from when we started looking at our money and at least making some uneducated attempt to get our stuff straight, it was still 6 years, right? 6 years to now, it's like almost 7 years, because we've been on the road for 1.5 years almost now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was fast, right? It still took all of that time for us to go from a negative to so much of a positive that we could say, okay, now we feel comfortable enough to not work anymore. And any kind of an emergency that comes up, we are financially equipped to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Right. And so this whole notion that it should happen quickly, this get rich quick, this lack of delayed gratification, especially will happen if you are living that extreme austere lifestyle. Right? Yeah, you want to get rich quick if you only have 1 fork, 1 spoon, and 1 plate.
Yeah.
And you're not allowing yourself to have any extras, none ever. No ice cream.
Well, and the thing is we get desperate and we look for the get rich quick scheme because out of desperation.
Yeah.
Instead of using logic.
Yeah.
Because everything's out there. There's things out there that give you the whole plan.
Right. And this is the other thing. So many times we've seen people quit a minute before the turnaround happened. They give up just before it happens. And it's like, see, all you had to do was wait for that. And then if you'd taken that money and put it into investments, then you'd have been set. But you gave up and you went further into debt. We certainly don't want that to happen to you. All right. What y'all talking about? I see something about Dave Ramsey.
And Susie Orman. I saw both of them.
Did you see that? Okay, let me go back and see where we're at. Thank you, Money Coach Malika. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I think we are caught up. I'm going to go back down. If I miss your question, it's not because I'm ignoring you. Just ask it again. Okay. It's kind of hard doing a lot of things at one time. Okay. Regina asked, question about rent mortgage, 20% of income. Is that before or after 401k contributions? I ask because I always do max amount allowed for retirement. I say it's 20% of your take home pay. So that means after 401k. 20% of your take home. Why? Because you need room to maneuver. If something like when we bought the house that we own in Denver, it was 19% of our take home pay. Now, at the time, conventional wisdom is you should buy a house for 33%. Why? We didn't need that much house. We did not need that much house. And so even though we could have afforded more and we qualified for more, we didn't do it.
No.
Right. And so if y'all remember when mortgages were upside down, when the fit hit the sham, 2008, 2009, right? With that whole crisis, and everybody was, not everybody, but a lot of folks who had bought recently were underwater $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And then people were getting laid off at the same time, losing their houses, right? I got laid off. But because it was only 19% of our combined income, we never missed a mortgage payment. And I remember, because I had been laid off for so long, trying to apply for some of Obama's, relief, for mortgage relief or whatever. And they're like, oh no, you have to miss some payments first. So go ahead and miss some payments. I'm like,
why do we do that?
What? Exactly. And mess up my credit. I ain't got a job. At least I got credit. Right? So, and so that is another reason why we suggest keeping it down to 20% or less. You need room to maneuver. And that is one of the reasons we weren't in more debt, right? Because I have told y'all, I've been laid off of almost every single job I've had since college. Almost every job. Right? I am of that generation of the consolidation of companies, and then they lay off the redundancies and all of that stuff. Whew. La. Okay. I saw something else. There it is. Okay, Peggy. Thanks to Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman while they live lavishly, right? Orman was on PBS, so folks trusted her. I didn't realize that. I had her books until I began to research. Yeah. And
keyword right there, research.
Exactly. And Dave Ramsey, I have not heard him say anything as far as methodology that I necessarily disagree with. Not that I watch him, but he shows up in our YouTube feed from time to time. Or when I'm searching for something, he'll show up for this type of stuff that I search for. But I don't like his attitude. He's so shaming and he's so condescending, and he talks to people like you should have known better, and just he makes you feel like crap. And so I'm surprised that people even watch him. I wouldn't watch him. I wouldn't follow him because he doesn't make me feel okay about, you cannot change the past. So us, we're not going to beat ourselves up about our past bad choices, or we try not to beat ourselves up by our past. So, who are we to talk? And it must be nice. Like, you always knew this stuff, Mr. Ramsey? Well, good on you. Because everybody didn't. And then you're going to shame somebody. You know what you know when you know it. Now, if you know better and you don't do better, that's one thing. But shoot. And then Susie Orman's totally against the FIRE movement. I wonder why. Susie Orman said you have to have $675,000 in a bank account when you retire just for healthcare. in the United States. $750,000 almost just for healthcare. 90% of the population of America is in trouble. What should I start putting in my Charles Schwab account? I used all my FIRE when I became disabled, divorced, and a single parent. I'm so sorry, Jessica. You start with $5, and we suggest that if you are new to investing, first, obviously, we're not licensed financial advisors, but we're better. We're financial educators who have educated themselves on how to handle their money. Mm-hmm. And so I think the easiest thing is to go ahead and get an index fund. That's a mutual fund that is not managed by a human being from day to day. Get an index fund. If you're at Schwab, get a Charles Schwab branded index fund, because that's probably going to be the cheapest. Look to see that it is. Go ahead. You're about to say something.
No, I was going to say pretty much the cheapest, the less, won't cost you a lot of money, mm-hmm. Low fee.
Low fees, because like Fidelity has one that's 0. Mm-hmm. I like that amount. But Charles Schwab has a very good S&P 500 index fund, and I believe they have a total market index fund. Like if I were starting from scratch, that's where I would start.
Yep.
What do you think? I mirrored the S&P 500 index with Fidelity's, the one that costs like 0.1%, and then the free one, FZROX. And both of them pretty much mirror the S&P 500. And those are total stock market index funds. So that's why I say either or. So Money Coach Malika says it took me 20 years to reach F.I.R.E. F.I.R.E. There are no shortcuts to sustainable wealth. No. And especially if you want F.I.R.E. Right? Like, I guess, had I started 20 years ago, then we might have done the same thing. But I don't know. I'm a different person now in a better way. And I think for me, what this has forced me to do is look at why I spent the way I spent. And had I been able to save enough where I did not have to cut spending at all and could live as if I were still working, because to me, that's what F.I.R.E. is. But not without getting into debt, though, not that part. I don't know if I would have done the type of self-analysis that I needed to do.
Right. It does make you do
right?
self-analysis.
Yeah. I realized I was buying crap to impress people I don't like. Now, we all say that, but I started like when I go to grabs and then I listen to what was going on in my head, I was like, oh, no. Oh, no, really? These people have been taking up space in my head and making me purchase things and get into debt? I'm not sure if I didn't need to get into debt to purchase the things, if for me, that would have been a good thing. So God knows what he's doing. You, obviously, Malika, could handle it. Halisi, not so much. Not so much. Yes, it's a long game. And the reason why we must teach our young people no more generational struggle.
That's the thing.
That right there, T. That right there.
But they have to be willing to accept it and want to learn it too. Young people.
Well, we were not fortunate enough to teach it to kids when they were still listening to us. Had we started when they were 3, 4, and 5 years old, right, and raised them that way, and they had allowances that they had to do certain things with, and you have to put a certain amount
right.
to save and this and that, then, yeah, it would have been different. But if, unfortunately, you learn late and then your kids are grown, they don't want to listen. They just want to ask you for a loan. That's what they want to do. So Ballerina asked, that's why all those African scams worked so well.
Exactly.
Get rich schemes gone wild.
Yeah.
I know someone. I personally know someone firsthand who took out another mortgage on their house, and sent somebody somewhere $250,000. How is that for greed?
What sounds that good?
Did he tell anyone, you want to get in on this? No, because we would have called him a fool. And then he wouldn't have done it, and that would have been a good thing. But no, he was greedy. And this is a person who was making close to $200,000 a year. He was greedy, and he did the thing, and he lost his money.
He gave his money away.
Yes, he did. Okay, Lenora says, how do you know what to invest into? What a small amount under 500? With a small amount under 500. Okay, so we just answered that question. We'll give you the same answer that we gave the last person. All of this we cover in Beyond the Bling and more as far as investing goes, right? But yeah, index funds. And you want to do, if that's your only investment, why do we say index funds and why the ones we do? One is to minimize risk when you're investing in equities, when you're investing in the stock market, in a manner where you are investing in equities. Equities are stock in companies. You want to be diverse, right? You want to have diversity. We've all heard that. Have a diverse portfolio. Yeah. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But, so that's great. The easiest way to do that is a mutual fund because they are by nature a product that contains pieces of a bunch of different companies. Different corporations, yeah. In the S&P 500 index fund, I would assume that all of those have a piece of every single company that it is in the S&P 500 index. A total stock market fund will not necessarily have every single company that's in the stock market, but will have, and you can look at this when you go in and you type in total stock market index fund, and then you see some come up, you can click on it and see what those funds contain, which companies those funds contain. It first will show you the top 10 holdings, right, which I think equals something like 20% of the total fund or something like that. And then they will show you the rest and in what percentages. And then you can do research and see. You'll see that they're from different sectors. You will see that some are large companies, some are mid-cap, some are smaller. You will see all of that. But it's automatic diversity. And because it has a track record, because it mirrors an index, this is not something you're going to need to check on. I'd say once a quarter. Yeah. Once a quarter is enough. Just continue to put money in it and make sure that you have automated. It comes automatically, Schwab, Fidelity, whatever, Vanguard, automatically takes it out of your account, and that it automatically purchases whatever you are invested in, so that it's not just sitting there, okay? And so you can set all of that up. When you automate it, it's the easiest way to stick to plan. During the pandemic, many of my friends contacted me about SUSU or SOSO, money saving clubs. It was a scam, and I told them that. Fraud. It's not the traditional SOSO in the Caribbean or West Africa. I never heard about that. Yeah. Maybe I was too busy working them 70 hours a week. Rich people teach their kids about money. Sadly, poor people only teach their kids about debt.
What they know.
Teach your kids what you know about. Don't they, though? They both lack empathy. Mm-hmm. That is so, so true. So, so true. Okay, looking for questions. I'm retired, did not do well with the good money that I was making, do not have a savings. What can I do? Sky Blue, lock location. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. So you're already retired. That means I'm assuming you either have a pension or you have Social Security. You do not have a savings. What can I do? the first thing that you need to do is lower your expenses, right? And so if it were me and I were on a fixed income like a Social Security check, the first thing that I would do is try to eliminate my housing costs. I would try to eliminate my housing costs and I would allocate, but see, that's me. And I'll tell you the way I would do it. And I would allocate a certain amount of money for the in between times. I would be house sitting as much as possible. That's what I would do because I want to travel. And so I would go from house sit to house sit to house sit. That's what I would do. If I were a normal person, non-nomadic, I would do one of two things. One, if you've got good credit, I would try to buy a duplex, a multifamily home. Or I would try to get a roommate and have them pay the majority of my housing. If I owned a house like so many of my family members do, and they're living in those houses all alone, I would rent out one of those rooms or two of those rooms. And I would make it, it would be an amount so that my housing would be free. And maybe I'm just paying utilities. Those are the kinds of things that you can do to either that, or you're going to have to raise your income. You're going to have to get a side hustle, right? But short of raising your income, you have to lower expenses. When you lower expenses, the object is not to take that money and say, "Oh, Caribbean, here I come." No, put it into savings and have it automated. So if you're paying $800 a month right now for rent or mortgage, once you eliminate that bill, automate. Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, whatever is going to automatically every month take that $800 out of your account and invest it for you. That's how. Or you're going to have to go back to work. I don't want you to have to do that. Lowering expenses could be the way to go. So geographic arbitrage is what we had to do. I didn't want to stay in Denver anyhow. I was tired of the winters. Right. And so it just so happened we were able to save. We did have a savings. We would not have moved with no savings. And I don't suggest that anybody move with any savings. Right now, like if I had, when you say no savings, I don't know what that means. Because we said we had no savings, but we were never, ever, we never had less than $10,000 in the bank, ever, in our whole marriage, ever, ever, ever. And to me, that was no savings. So if I had $10,000 in the bank, I'd split. And I would be I would be doing the nomad thing if it were just me and not me and Rick, because he would have to agree, obviously. But if it were just me, I'd be doing the nomad thing and I would be house sitting all over the world. That's what I'd be doing. Taking that extra money, putting it in a fund for the in-between times when I might have to get an Airbnb or something like that, and for plane tickets. I'd be out. That's what I'd do. Again, this is what we teach in Beyond the Bling. Information is in the description below. I know. So Susie Orman tells people they need $10 million to retire. She is so out of touch. So out of touch. And I suppose if you want to live fat fire, Malika, right? If you want to live fat, and at the same level, at the exact same level, with the exact same level of expenses as when you were working, then maybe you do need 10 million. Oh no. I don't know. I'm 50 and stopped working a second job. I am in healthcare, but with changes like AI, there is a need to upskill. Would you bootstrap financing? I don't want to change jobs so late in the game. QM, I would not pay to go get not one more certificate, not one more degree. You're 50. If I were 30 or even maybe 40, just starting to get my financial act together and knew I had a good 15 years to get out of debt and then get me on the right track and to FI, maybe I would get a certificate. But I certainly wouldn't go back to school. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think we underestimate how valuable we truly, truly are.
Yeah.
So that's that. um, about the school thing. And you're not saying that that's what your plan is, but I just want to put that out there. I don't want to change jobs so late in the game, and I wouldn't. So I don't know exactly what you do in healthcare, but I know when you change jobs, you usually get a raise. There's that. Um, would you? And so I don't know what you mean by would you bootstrap financing. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Um, but if you mean, would I get a financial planner? The answer is always going to be no. We do not believe in financial planners. We believe that you should know what you need to know about your money, period. And why waste money giving it to somebody else to do what you should be doing? So that's that part. Um, so yeah, I'm still I'm gonna need some clarity around the bootstrap
Yeah.
financing. Yeah. You got Rick looking something up. So I don't I don't think it was FXAIAX. I don't money coach. I don't think so. We never saw that. Great, Jessica. Okay, I'm reading people. Okay, I got to stop reading because we still have some more to go through. I agree. Melanie say I agree. Fire is not a get rich quick scheme. Time will pass anyway, right? God willing, even if you don't reach your goal number, the worst case scenario is you'll have quite a bit of savings. We didn't reach our goal because we decided, well, I decided I wasn't going to work not one more day. So I gave up some things in order to retire now. So, and I was willing to do that because my health and my sanity was worth it.
Financing a business. No.
Bootstrap financing. Oh, self-financing a business. It depends. Um, if you are self-financing to the tune of $1,000 or less, yes. If you are talking about getting a business loan, no. No, 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 no. Okay. I don't know. Something weird just happened there, y'all. Sorry about that. But it looks like we're back. So yeah, I'm never going to suggest buying a job. Um, so we talk about this in Beyond the Bling as well. As far as starting a business, and Rick and I have owned a business since 2001, 2002, or something like that. And we already had the equipment. I don't know, y'all. I do not know. I don't know. So I've got we are plugged in. We always go wired, but I turn the Wi-Fi on back on too, just in case. I mean, if the internet's out, the internet is out. I don't know, y'all. So Gerald asks, what are your thoughts? Oh, back to the bootstrapping financing and starting a business. the notion of the old fashioned notion of going to get a small business loan to do some brick and mortar thing and to get into debt to start a business when you are not even sure that anybody wants whatever it is that you're offering. That's so last century. Okay. And so, like with Beyond the Bling, right? When we created that course, we created the outline for the course so we knew what we were going to be teaching, but we did not start creating the content until y'all said with your dollars that you wanted it. Once a certain amount of people bought it, we started creating the content. So, and you see it was worth it because we have people who went from 22,000 in net worth or 20,000 or so in net worth to almost 200,000 in net worth. So the content was on point. But so this is what we're talking about. Like, you don't have a business if you don't have a paying customer. So why would you go into all of this debt or something like that, or spend a bunch of your savings if you don't already have a customer? In the entertainment industry, we have a term called banking the paper. And so for television or producers and directors and writers, y'all know what this is. Basically, you've got a script, right? And you want to produce it. You go to, and you basically get a customer, right? You go sell the script, or you go say, okay, to company A, who is a distribution company. Once this is made, will you buy it? They read the script, they know your work, they say, yes, here's a contract. Once it is complete, and we need it complete by, let's just say 2025, you will get $10 million for this project, as long as Halisi and Rick are starring in it. That's called banking the paper. So you go get a loan, but you know that you've got the customer to pay it back, right? Folks are getting loans and they're not banking paper. They don't have any customers. That is not a business. What you have is some busy work. Because if you don't have a paying customer, you don't got a business. Why are you spending all this money? Fail fast. So you spend the least amount of money as possible. You try to pre-sell as much as possible. You test things out quickly, see whether people like it, get the no's, tweak, go back out there, reiterate until you have something that people are actually going to pay for. And so failing fast, tweaking, and moving on, that is the way we do business in the 21st century.
Yeah.
So Gerald asks, what are your thoughts about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investing? Really enjoy watching your vlog. Thank you. My wife is recently retired and has a Series 763. Is that a BMW? Continued success. I don't know what Series says. I don't know what it is. I'm lame. I'm sorry, Gerald. What do we think about Bitcoin and crypto?
Really nothing, because we don't know anything about it. We really haven't taken the time to study it.
I studied macroeconomics and I studied microeconomics. I don't understand Bitcoin. I understand blockchain technology. I understand and would invest in that. But I don't understand cryptocurrency. If I can't pay my mortgage with it, I don't understand it. So until I see, I'm American. Sorry, Gerald. So I'm going to say this. And all y'all in the comments, don't get in my stuff, but you know what I mean. Until I see a westernized nation give up their own currency for a cryptocurrency, and that is what the westernized nation is now run on, I don't invest in what I don't understand. And I don't understand why a nation would give up its right to print money. I mean, EU notwithstanding, they combined have a voice in the euro, right? And then Britain never gave up. So that's how you control your economy. So that's what I have to say about it. In general,
763 is a security license.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. We ain't up on all of that. We are not up on all of that. But I don't invest in anything that I don't understand. I can't evaluate a company if I don't understand what the company is supposed to be doing. So that's what I'm saying. I understand blockchain. I understand its value and why we need that as we move forward in this digital world, right? I understand that. And any company that is investing in R&D, et cetera, around blockchain probably has some of our money that they're using because we bought fractional shares or whatever. But otherwise, even with tangible things that are not dealing with currency, we don't invest in currency in general. Like, the only thing that we do as far as currency is try to time the market when we move American money here and try to get as many euros as we can for every dollar.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Investment.
because I don't want to do that much work. I don't want to do that much work. I don't want to look at the market every day and see what currencies are doing and all of that and that. No, I'm retired. So yeah, I don't want to do that. And then in general, even when it comes to regular stuff, I don't invest in anything that I don't understand because I don't know how to evaluate what I don't understand. We'll be booking a call soon. Yay, servant teacher Nikki. Hubby is not interested in purchasing more property after selling our home to move to Spain. I ain't mad at him. Don't be surprised if a year or two from now, we don't own anything. Need some help persuading him why we should do it.
Give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, real estate investing. I like real estate investing, one, because I understand it, and two, because you need the least amount of money for the most amount of gain. That's why I like real estate investing, right? You own $600,000 worth of a thing, and all you had to do was give up $20,000, $30,000, right? If you buy $30,000 worth of stock, you own $30,000 worth of stock, not $600,000 worth of stock, right? So that's why I like real estate investing. But it's a pain. You got to deal with people living in your properties. And sometimes it can be a pain in the butt, right? So I get it. I get it. And when we talk, we'll talk about what your plan is, what you want your life to look like, and what is the fastest way to make that happen. And if he sees, like, if the choice is buy a piece of property and put up with some folks for 3 years, 5 years, whatever, in order to, let's just say, retire today, or don't buy the property and retire in 2 years, I'm buying the property. That's what I'm doing.
What is Action BJ asking?
What is action where? Right here?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in Lisbon? I don't know. Nothing. What is going on in Lisbon?
You're saying we're not seeing.
Yeah, because we talking to you. So whatever's happening, we don't know about it. That better be happening in Lisbon. Hey, Halisi and Rick. Hey, Karen Louise, glad you made the live. Do you believe having your side hustle made a big difference in your FIRE goal and your ability to retire? Yes. I work a corporate tech job, mutual money, and hoping to figure out the right side biz. Video production brought Rick and I together. That's how we met, because of video production project. So it was kind of a natural fit for us to start a side hustle around what brought us together, what we wanted to be our full-time hustle, but we were too afraid to do it. What we should have done was saved a year or two of living expenses and then did it. That's what we should have done. But we were too scared, and we didn't even think that was possible, because we said it wasn't possible. So it wasn't possible for us, right? And we've talked about this before, having that side hustle all along kept us out of a lot of debt. We would have been, because we were stupid spenders, right? We were spenders. And so instead of, we used the side hustle for splurges is what we did. And unfortunately, Some of the debt came with all of the layoffs and the this and the that, and then running for office and la di da. But as far as our side hustle goes, absolutely, there is no way. Had we given ourselves the same splurges, but without the side hustle, we wouldn't be talking to you right now. There's just no way we would not. So, um, yeah, the side hustle definitely made a difference. It helped pay for our South Africa trip, as a matter of fact. So we went to I was in grad school, and I had to do an international trip, so I had to go. But I'm not going to Africa for the first time without my family. So Rick had to go, Jabari had to go, and so that's a lot of money. And so I decided that we were going to, or we decided actually, we were going to make a documentary while we were there. I also talked my professor into taking the documentary in lieu of a paper. So we not only were we able to write off the entire trip, um, but part of it was paid for by my job, and then part of it was paid for by student loans, which I no longer have to pay because I'm no longer working. I've paid them enough money. They have gotten all of their money. They just haven't gotten the big. They just have not gotten the big. So we still have one more. Where are we? An hour and a half. Okay, let's speed this up. Have you recommended Facebook Marketplace? I retired in May as a nurse and today sold my scrub tops. I've made over 1,000 since May selling things around the house. Good for you. I will not need that. I will not need when I leave. Not soon enough. We do recommend Facebook Marketplace. We recommend that if, as you're decluttering and stuff, make money. That's money, right? That's money. That's money that could either go to pay a bill or money that you can put into your savings account or emergency fund or your investment account. We were in a hurry. I sold nothing besides our cars. Opportunity lost. Don't be like us. Don't wait to the point where you're so desperate to get out that it's like, I don't care about any of this stuff. When you leave that partner, right? And you just walk away. Like you want out of that relationship so bad, you just walk away. We wanted out of the United States so bad, we just walked away. We didn't sell anything besides our cars. You don't want to be that person. Make money, make a little bit of your money back that you spent on all that stuff, right? Yes, Gerald, he looked it up. He looked it up. Thank you though. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not that sophisticated. We are not that sophisticated, but I do understand how money works and I know what makes a good company, and if the company is doing what is necessary for future growth. That I understand. Some terminology I still don't know. And the industry itself, some of that stuff, I don't know. But I do know how to evaluate a company and I do understand money. Halisi and Rick, would you have your retirement or social security deposit to a bank in Portugal? I guess so. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Unlike some other countries, right? The banking system here in the EU is fine, right? It's fine, it's stable, and all of that. So yeah, I suppose so. But we are temporary residents of Portugal. And I say that to say we have every intention on staying indefinitely into the future, but we do not have permission to stay indefinitely into the future. And so for right now, we are residents and we are allowed to stay for 2 years. And in 2 years, we will ask them, can we stay longer, please? And they will say yes, or they will say no. They'll say yes. But until they say yes, it's not guaranteed. Things can change, rules can change. I don't know. So we maintained our U.S. banks. It just makes it easier.
Yeah.
It just makes it easier.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things could change. Political parties.
Yeah. You don't know. And that's why we got residency in Mexico as well. We wanted choices. Spain is at the top of your relocation list. Carol, we love Spain. We love Spain.
Oh, he was asking that question because the internet went out.
Oh, That's from when the signal went out. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know
That
what
was
happened.
weird.
Thank you for sticking around. I don't know
That
what
was
happened.
that was weird.
And I almost forgot about it just that fast. We want to rent our house. Do you have any recommendations on the best way to start and vetting? Our children aren't interested and able to manage. I wouldn't necessarily. Um, we talk about this in Beyond the Blank, by the way. Go to Mr. Landlord's site. Start there. Start there with the freebies that he offers on how to vet and make the most out of your rental properties. So that's where I would start. Does your November Zoom info session have a link yet? So the November Move to Portugal Virtual Summit does have a link for the wait list. It is below. It should be the first thing that you see after the description. Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There's a wait list below. The tickets have not yet gone on sale. Early bird tickets will go on sale soon. Krishan and I have been talking almost every day and working on the technology and behind the scenes. So we are getting it together and putting together the speaker list too. We're just excited about, right? There's so many ways. There are so many ways to do the thing. I'm 52 years old and still work remote, new to this. Hey, Des, Jamal, welcome, welcome, welcome. I have started saving. Yes, I live in Cali. We're sorry. Need help planning. Beyond the Blank, money mindset makeover for financial independence. But you can start with the freebie, Ready to Retire Toolkit, right? Start there. Though that's the basics. You may know more of this than you think you know. And sometimes it's just as simple as sitting down and coming up with a plan. Figuring out how you can retire is not that difficult, folks. It just isn't. I'm going to tell you two things, and then we're going to keep going with this list. Number one, figure out how much your future life is going to cost per month. Two, figure out where that money is going to come from. And it's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. Where does Susie Orman get this $12 million from? Do you know how high my expenses would have to be? Let me tell you how high they would have to be with that $25 million nonsense, right? Divided by. I'd have to live off of $1 million a year. $1 million a year is what I would want to live off of in order for 25 million to be my FI number, to be my FIRE number. Really, Susie? Really? She's trying to, that is fruit of the slavery tree. She is trying to keep us enslaved. And I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. I rebuke it. So yeah, start with the Ready to Retire Toolkit. Go ahead and get that. There are emails that come along with that. Those are the basics, and you might realize that you know a lot more than you do. And once you start running those numbers, like we talked about last week, y'all, when you start running the numbers, you can exhale. Had we run the numbers before we went to the United States, I would not have been as unhappy about going to the United States as I was. Y'all, I was torturing myself. I think investing is vacant land. Oh, I think investing in vacant land through tax deed sales are good investments. I purchased quarter property last year, quarter acre property. I don't know, quarter property last year, or maybe 1/4 of the property. And then there you've got 3 other investors in Lehigh. Is that FL, Florida, for $8,000, and it's almost worth $19,000 now in 1 year.
Yeah, land.
That ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. You have to know the market in order to be successful at this, right? Like you could buy land that nobody would ever want in the future. But if you know the area and you know what's going on and you see where the movement is going and where the county, the city, the state is investing, what Monique did can happen almost anywhere.
Follow the money.
Follow money. How did you sell your cars? I have to sell mine before we move to Portugal. So we used to buy our cars
from a broker.
From a car broker. We did not buy our cars from a dealership because that's just asking for it. We had the best car broker in the whole wide world in Denver, George Green. Hey, George. It's time to retire, George. You can afford it, George. And so we just sold them back to him. So I would call a car broker. It's easy. It's the easiest thing, unless you want the most amount of money. If you want the most amount of money, then go ahead and put it online, put it in Facebook Marketplace, put it online and sell it to some individual. That's the highest amount of money you're going to get. If you sell it to anyone who has to resell it, then obviously you're not going to get full market value. We wanted to keep the car until the very last minute to do what we needed to do. So it was easier just to do it that way for us.
Yeah. But what's the machine?
EU, the EU does insure bank deposits.
The machine,
Carvana or something.
Carvana,
Yeah, you can do that. You can sell them to Carvana or someplace like that as well.
You just put your license plates in or something like that.
And you can sell it through Carvana.
You can sell it through Carvana.
Okay. Listen to the man. I've been gifting my possessions from my storage unit, and my spirit feels great. Right, Auntie Trey? That's what I'm talking about. Don't wait. Like, get rid of that stuff. Get rid of it. And you might find that the thing that you were leaving to your little niece, she don't want it. She don't want it. She don't want it. What if I want to take my job with me and not retire?
If you can, why not?
You don't move to Portugal on a D7 visa necessarily if you're a W-2 employee who is allowed to work remotely from anywhere in the world. Do not try to use a VPN or something like that to work anywhere in the world if your job has not given you permission, because there are tax implications. So understand the tax implications by taking your job with you. For yourself, as well as it's the company's job to worry about the tax implications for them. But that might be one reason why a company might not let you leave, right? If you stay anywhere past the 3 months tourist visa, you could be considered working here. And then there are tax implications for your company. We know people who live here and who work for companies that are in the United States or have UK offices, global companies that are also in the United States, maybe even headquartered in the United States. So yes, rebuke it. I'm just trying to tell you, right? So yeah, that's totally doable. All right, let's get back to it. So number one, these are the misconceptions. This is why when people don't know, they don't try to continue the path to financial independence, or they think this is how they're supposed to do it. They do it wrong, get frustrated. See, they thought it was a get rich quick scheme. See, their money isn't growing. Oh, it's going down. That same money that was going down, and it was like down to like, I don't know, 30% just a year ago is now back up 15% ahead, right? Just hold. It's a good thing that we were ignorant. It is. You got to play the long game. So this is not a get rich quick scheme. Number 5, and we've been talking about this. Hello, Black community. A lot of folks in our community believe that to pursue FIRE is selfish, and that we've got familial obligations that will prevent us from doing it, will make it not feasible, or, it does not fit into our values because all of that money that I should be saving, I need to help my extended family.
Yeah, you have to turn your back on family and friends and be selfish.
Or we have to give back to the community. So all that extra money is being donated back to the community. And so we cannot, money is the root of all evil. Misconception, right? Is for the love of money, of course, not money itself. But money is the root of all evil is what we hear oftentimes in our community. And we don't want to be greedy and we don't want to be selfish. And we owe it to our family, right? I don't owe anybody anything, first of all, but to love you from afar. But we owe it to the community. We owe it to the family to do X, Y, and Z. And And isn't it convenient that every single time there's always one or two people in the family that are ultra responsible. And everybody else calls them and claws on them and asks them and If they're not asking you for advice, then they're asking you for money. And then they're asking you for advice and asking you for more money. Or you have to be their psychiatrist.
Because you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's your job.
No.
You just gonna abandon us? You just gonna forget about your family then, huh?
No.
You didn't come visit me when I was in Colorado. So what difference does it make? Right? Like, I can't love you if I don't love myself. I can't love you better if I don't love myself better. And if I'm not taking care of myself, if Rick is not taking care of himself, and if we're not taking care of each other, we certainly cannot be any help to anyone else.
To no one else.
The best way that I can help my family out is to show them how to handle their money so they can stop calling me and asking me for it. That's what I can do.
Or starting GoFund pages.
So, because I think I want to move into this new luxury apartment and stuff. And so what I want to do is I'm gonna be starting me a GoFundMe page. And if everybody kick in $20, then I have my first and last right there. Boom. I don't need no F.I.R.E. I don't need to save and all that hokey stuff. I just start a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, you can. Good luck with that.
We'll see how that works out for you. I'm being selfish for the first time, and I just love me now.
You have to.
You have to. You have to. And you have to do it, Black women, without the guilt, especially you single moms. I know, because I used to be one. Without the guilt. It is okay. I was not created to be a martyr. I don't know about y'all. I was not created to be a martyr. I thought I was for a long time. And then, as Stephanie Perry said, I took off the cape. I took it off. I am not Superwoman, and I ain't trying to be. And he no longer asks me to be.
No.
I don't think you realized you were asking me to be. And because I expected him to ask me to be. Hello, women. My family doesn't ask me for money because I ask too many questions. I love it. I will help you if we also put together a plan to avoid the repeat scenario. I will not be an enabler. That piece right there. I had a dream about that, Malika. And so somebody's probably going to call me, and that's what we're going to do. Because when I have vivid dreams like that, they usually come true. So somebody's going to call me, and I'm going to do to them what my daddy used to do to me. And he used to do that to me, and still he's broke. So maybe that's why I wasn't as crazy of a spender as I could have been, is because, they did teach me a little bit. They did teach me a little bit. Yes, right? I can't love you more if I can't love me more. It starts at home. It starts here. You know what Mama used to say? Do I look like Bank of America to you? Oh, we love us some Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow, and Adelia Borchade, the CD Mex crew. All right. Okay. So, number 5, we do not owe the family or the community our blood, sweat, and tears. Mm-hmm. The best thing that I can do for the African American community is what I am doing right now. And when I was running for office, anybody who's still around back in those days, no, it was always about the money with me. I'm not fighting for, equity in healthcare, equity in the schools, equity in that, equity. No, I'm fighting for the money, because money will fix all that other stuff. It'll fix it. Give me enough money so that I can pay attention to what you're doing and vote your behind out. That's what I need, right? That's what I need. And so I always concentrated on the money. even when I did not know how to handle it. I knew. I just made a plan to stop sharing my plans with everyone. Decision to stop sharing my plans with anybody. I'm making this move in secret going forward. Let my actions speak. That's the LA way to do it, right? Because people in LA just be talking, yes, I just got to deal with Sony Pictures and I'm going to be producing whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah. You know what? I will wait until I see the movie. That's what I'll do. Let me see. All right. The last but not least, misconception, and one of the reasons why people fail at FIRE.
They believe it's a one size fits all.
Yeah, one size fits all plan. This is the way it's got to be done. Extreme austerity. This is what I was getting to before, right? A program that is rigid with no flexibility, and that could not be further from the truth, right? This is not a one size fits all plan. That's the whole point. That's the whole point, which is why y'all are watching, right? Hey, Laura, glad you made it. And we'll get to your question in a minute. The bottom line is there are as much ways to reach financial independence as there are people on this planet. And that's the truth. Our way, like when we took the first masterclass for FIRE, we did not conceive of being able to retire when we did as fast as we could, the way we did, because it just hadn't occurred to us yet. Right. And so as you start doing this more and dealing with your money more and looking at different scenarios, you will begin to see how there's all of these ways, all of these hacks to get to FI faster.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And once I figured, this is so elementary, and I've already said it. Once I figured, wait, are you telling me all I need to do is figure out where $2,600 a month is going to come from and we can retire? If I know where that's coming from, we can retire. That's all you're telling me. For real. That's it. It's not that difficult. Hi, I'm late to the live stream. No problem. Hypothetically, after 10 years, wouldn't you have to factor in Portugal taxes if you're on a fixed budget? Would this be a huge impact? Yes, you do. And I have no idea where we're going to be in 10 years. But I also know that, so think about it, Laura. Think about what I just said. You're telling me all I have to do is figure out where we're going to get $2,600 a month, and even adjusted for inflation. 10 years from now, the money that we have in our retirement accounts is still going to be invested.
Right.
It is probably not going to be in our retirement accounts anymore, right? We'll be moving it, slowly moving it into just a brokerage account. But it will still be invested. So you're telling me all I have to figure out is where we're going to get $2,600 a month. Because if anything crazy happens, we've got 2 years worth of living expenses sitting there just in case. Just in case. By the time 10 years comes around, there a lot of things will have happened. One is I will understand the tax system better. I will understand what the write-offs are. If, let's just say, Portugal does not have like a 40% rate, not at our income level anyway, right? But they do have, there's nobody that does not pay any taxes, but because you got healthcare and you've got other things too, right? So let's just say the rate is 27%. How many people actually pay 27%? Just like in the United States, right? When Warren Buffett's not paying taxes, what are we talking about here? So it's not like a flat tax that they just say. You do get write-offs and all of that stuff. So when we understand that, when we understand, how it works for businesses and all of that stuff as well, we will have figured it out by then,
Mhm.
assuming that we're still here. So that is that. And I think we've done it, y'all. So let us talk about the Move to Portugal Summit, because I'm excited. Krishan and I have been working on it all weekend long. As I said, we've already got immigration people who have signed up. We've already got health system people who have signed up. We've already got Portuguese people who have signed up to teach you about making friends with Portuguese people. We've got people from all the different major cities, Black folks that you can talk to, so that you will know and get firsthand accounts of what it's like to live in that city as a Black person. Because, hey, let's just face it, we want to know, will we be accepted? Will we feel comfortable? Will we feel ostracized? These are the questions we're going to ask, and we're going to have the people there that you can ask that will give you an honest opinion, who have been living there for no less than at least 6 months, if not years. Okay. So all of those people we've got signed up, and we still have more that we are putting together. So we are so excited. I'm not going to tell you what the price is going to be yet, because we don't know exactly yet. We're waiting for a quote on one more piece of software that is necessary. It is the Move to Portugal Summit. November 3rd is going to be the happy hour. It's going to be all day November 4th, and then half a day November 5th, which is a Sunday. And don't you know, y'all, Lisbon's time changes October 29th. United States changes that weekend. So Friday and Saturday, we will be 5 hours ahead of you. Sunday will only be 4 hours ahead of you. These are all the brain damage things that I've been going through. You won't have to worry about it. Your time will start at the same time. 9 a.m. Eastern time is when we're starting on Saturday and Sunday. Our times will be different. Krishan and Rick and my time will be different here in Lisbon. So, it can't be easy.
Yeah.
You know that. And so anyone who is part of Exodus Summit, they have been teaching us. So we are following their method. There will be a weekend pass. You will have access to all of the live information and the replays until the end of the month. And then the folks who get the all access VIP pass will have access, obviously, to the lives and the replays for a whole year. So you'll be able to refer back to it when you're actually making that move, and you want to go back and you want to watch the video and get that information again. You will have access. Also, for the all access pass, we are doing the happy hours only for the VIP all access pass holders. And we're doing 2 private Zoom sessions with experts, at least 2, if not 3, for the all access pass holders, where you will be. And so there's a limited amount of those, because the Zoom license is this. And so there's going to be a limited amount of all access passes for folks to be on camera and talk and ask questions to the experts, and be able to ask follow-up questions. So all access pass, weekend pass. If you are Exodus Summit people, then you know how that works. And hopefully we're meeting with the platform people next Monday. So we will hopefully be able to put them on sale before that. But if I run into technical difficulties, then it's going to be another week. And that is, do we have a couple more questions? Okay.
I think you missed those too. Well, you got Greta.
Okay. So Greta said, I can't wait for the Move to Portugal Summit. Do you have the dates? So I just gave the dates. And do you think having just one credit card is best? Not necessarily. It depends. It depends on what your strategy is for those credit cards. So if we still lived in the United States and travel, but we're still the same people, and that travel is still our priority as far as our life goes, then we live in United's hub. Most flights are going to be United flights. So I'd have that card and all of those points, excuse me. And then we'd have an all around card. So we have Chase and we have Amex, where we can take those points and and
move
move them to different airlines and hotels, right? So that's how we use our credit cards. We maintain zero balances. If you are afraid to use credit cards, our suggestion is, so we pay our credit cards off. We pay for everything that we can with a credit card. Everything. Everything. So I always, that's how easy it is to know what our budget is every month, because it's just all on one credit card, except for our rent and our utilities. Groceries, everything else is on the one credit card, or mine or his, the two credit cards. And what we do is we decide which ones we want to build up points on, and we both use those credit cards at that time. And then we rotate them depending upon where we're going, what we want to do, and which airlines and hotels they focus on. If you have problems with debt and you're worried about racking up credit card debt, there's two methods that I really like. One, every week, pay off the balance, or every paycheck, pay off the balance. And you can automate that. And if it's automated, you will make sure that you don't overspend and you stay within budget, right?
Right.
Ours is automated to pay the full balance every month. Yeah. And, or if that even seems scary to you, use your credit card so you can get those points. Come home, as soon as you get home, go online and pay the bill. That's what we suggest. If you feel like you're afraid to get back into using credit cards, use them strategically to get what you want.
Yeah.
And so I can't say just one. Some people swear by Capital One Venture Card. Some people swear Venture X. Okay. Some people swear by American Express, any of them. And some people swear by Chase Sapphire. I don't do enough travel hacking and points manipulation to give you sound advice on any of that stuff, except for that we use our points. We use them.
Yeah.
And so, yes, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, really the main programming for the Move to Portugal Summit is going to be Saturday, November 4th, and half day Sunday, November 5th. We might have also happy hour and a keynote on the 5th. On the 3rd, on Friday the 3rd. We might have a keynote, so it depends. And if so, all access as well as Weekend Pass will have access to the keynote, but not the happy hour, the private happy hour. It'll be a virtual happy hour, of course, you guys. All right. Can you have a Portuguese credit card as a temporary resident? Probably. If you even have a bank account, you certainly can probably have a credit card, right?
I don't think they have limits like American credit cards. So.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. Somewhere I heard that.
Oh, no. I don't know, because I use credit cards strategically. And so it would have to be a credit card that offers better benefits than the ones that I'm already using. Now, one benefit is that there are a few places that don't have the type of machines that like our American credit cards. And we run into that maybe twice a month, once a month. And it's the small mom and pop, or the Asian markets or something like that. It's never, ever, ever the major stores, ever. What is a credit card that has a promotion for flying miles? Yeah. So those 3 that I just mentioned. And then, of course, any of the airline credit cards. If you're staying in the United States and you live in a hub, it might make sense, right? Like Rashida always uses Delta. Delta doesn't really fly Denver. Denver is United. So it made sense for us to have a United card. And I think we have done it at just 2 hours. Not too bad. I really was trying to keep this for an hour. So we're just going to just reiterate one last time. Number 1,
extreme sacrificing.
That's right. I don't believe in extreme. I am not going to spend not one moment being miserable, not one more precious moment.
Not letting yourself enjoy some things.
Right? Exactly. If going out to eat was your thing, how about potlucks? Right? All of these kinds of things we talk about in Beyond the Bling and in the Ready to Retire Toolkit. really, really in Beyond the Blank. All of the ways that you can still do some of the things that you like while cutting costs. So next week we're having a game night here in Lisbon. We're having some friends. We're all getting together. We're all bringing some appetizers, and we're all bringing our games as opposed to meeting at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And we can be loud and stay a little bit longer than if we were in a restaurant and talk smack. So Anne says she just got her first credit card and would like to know more about how to use points. Halisi seems really knowledgeable about this. Can you offer some sessions during your summit? Maybe I'll talk to Krishan about that. I am not like T. If you guys are still watching Howard's World View, she does have some websites that are really good about travel hacking and stuff like that. Choose F.I.R.E, as a matter of fact, has some good travel hacks, and they have a whole series about how to use the cards. So that's where I would go. I'm new to this game, y'all. I am new. We just started doing this for real, because we've always had points and we've used them, but like strategically, really like getting the card, making sure we put everything on the card so we meet that $3,500 threshold within 3 months, 6 months, or whatever. So that we can get the 65,000 points or the 100,000 points or whatever. Like beyond that, yeah, I saw. Beyond that, I don't know what to tell you. So thanks, T. She is still here. So I think you texted me some of the information, some of the places and so if that is the case, if I will look in our WhatsApp text and going back and forth, I will grab those. And if you want to send an email, Ange, to hello@ourblackutopia.com, I can send you some of those links. But Choose F.I., one of the founders of Choose F.I, started the whole thing by travel hacking. That was his groove. He started a podcast on travel hacking and everything like that. So the Move Abroad Toolkit is €8.99. What it is today in United States dollars and what it is tomorrow and what it was yesterday, I have no idea. But it's usually about 10% more, 7 to 10% more. So $1 more in US dollars. So €8.99, about $10. We charge in euros because we pay our bills in euros. So that's why. That's why. And with that, we're going to let you go.
We didn't finish going through them.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Reiterate. So extreme frugality. Number 2.
The need for a large windfall.
Playing that lotto, y'all. Got to play the lotto in order to be financially independent.
Lack of knowledge of
Right.
investing.
We think investing is gambling. Really? Come on.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Thinking it's a get rich scheme.
Get rich quick scheme.
Right?
Quick scheme. Those are all the people who know a prince, an African prince, and sent them $250,000. Ouch. You borrowed against your house to do what? We have not taken off the cape, and we believe that the idea of financial independence goes against our values of supporting the community and supporting our family and extended family.
Like you have to turn your back on everybody.
You don't have to do that. And lastly,
the belief that it's a one size fits all.
Right. There's only one way to achieve FIRE, and it's got to be 25 times earnings, not expenses, 25 times earnings, and that's it. And you got to have 12 million Susie Orman dollars, and that's it. Couldn't be further from the truth. All right. So you can be very creative. There's a lot of ways to get to F.I.R.E. Just figure out where the money is going to come from and how much you need. And it's as simple as that. T says 10x Travel has a free course. So the Howard Worldview. Did I tell you Mel and T ain't never around? Okay, they are never around. They have lived here how long and how many times have we seen them? Well, actually, we've seen them. We see them a lot when we see them, but they're in those streets. So, hey, Stephanie, we love you. We're out of here. We gave you some shout outs. Exodus Summit tickets are on sale, y'all. DY, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, as y'all know, all of the super chat, super thanks, super sticker money goes to our scholarship fund. If you're watching, someone asked me for a scholarship, and I believe that I sent you the code. If I didn't send you the code, you got the scholarship. Send me another email. I could swear I sent you the code. Send me another email. We are able to give another scholarship now. So if you need a scholarship to Beyond the Bling, this is probably going to be the last one before it goes to the new price. And so thank everybody. Thank Dee for giving us the final amount of money that we needed so that we could give someone who wants to get their money straight a scholarship to Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. And that's a lovely way to end the show. We love y'all. Jessica, I have gained 20 pounds because I've reduced stress.
Oh, we got another $10.
And you guys, thank you.
Thanks,
thank you, Ange. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. The community thanks you. We have given away, I think, 5 scholarships since the relaunch of Beyond the Bling. So this, and that does not include the lady that I think I sent, the code to, and I'm not sure if I remember with my birthday and everything else. And then this is going to be number 7. So yes, y'all, come on now. We are supporting our community. So thank you all. We love you.
Yeah.
We love you, and we will see you on Thursday. See ya.